beak also happens to be the scent you complimented me on at the bar.
You have a very gentlemanly scent about you. So apart from petty theft and calling a game 2 strikes in, Teak is the secret to your success.
More than you know.
Desire. So this piece is full of witty dialogue and like lots of playful banter, and you have these two performers with this really great chemistry. And there's like a satirical element of it that plays on like that particular style of like film noir, American crime film noir. But it's done in a very like lighthearted way, which is really evident through a lot of the playfulness and the tone. And I do feel like the actors themselves, their portrayals of their character really aided in bringing this dialogue to life.
Desire, I thought this was really, really interesting. And to have this kind of, to first of all be introduced to this kind of date halfway through or partway through the day, I think is a really, really interesting way to drop the audience into an interaction, because clearly there's some familiarity because they've been on at least the first part of this date, but there's not enough that there's comfort and, you know, the relaxed familiarity between the two of them. So as an audience member, you're learning along with the two characters about each other, which I think is really interesting, but you don't really know what's been said prior. You don't know how that first part of the date went. So seeing kind of where they are essentially giving a breakdown or a summary of how the date went and kind of trying to figure out where to go from there, I thought was really, really fascinating, because you got part of that where you got to see it as the audience, but then the other part of it, you're just seeing each of their interpretations of how that happened, and what the situation was with like the music and stuff like that. I thought that was really, really fascinating. And then to have this other kind of aspect thrown into it where he clearly is struggling with some inner demons of some kind, and to see him in the moment struggling with, I have this desire to be crazy pants and attack this woman, but I also seemingly like her enough that I don't want to cause her harm, I think is a really interesting kind of disconnect. And to see him kind of, like I said, struggle and fight with those demons, to have kind of to exist in both of those places at the same time, where clearly he has the instinct and the desire to harm this woman, but at the same time he also has the desire not to harm her and to protect her in some kind of way. So I think that that kind of battle and that struggle within himself was really, really interesting to kind of see play out, and how it played out in his own head of, well, I could do that and that's how that would go, but do I actually want to harm this person that, you know, they seemingly just had a relatively good date? But I thought it was really, really fascinating. And then it opens up all these other questions of, do they go on a second date? What's next? What comes after that point where he actually did send her away? Is there another version of this story where he doesn't send her away, or he didn't send a previous woman away? Like, it just leads to more questions. It opens up a lot more, and I thought that was really great.
This film, Desire, has a very surprising twist. The pair are very flirtatious, talking about how they each think the evening or date has gone, and their thoughts on desire. And we get a sudden shock that his inner desire is to murder her, which gives a very different meaning to everything that he's been saying throughout. It's implied very subtly at first, and I think they did a good job of shocking us with the true horror behind the date. I really liked the aesthetics they were going for with the lighting and color choices, and think it matches that old-timey, flirty kind of vibe very well.
This film is called Desire. This was an awesome short. For me, it had a real film noir feel to it. The combination of the jazzy, sexy soundtrack throughout and the fact that it was filmed in black and white combined for this effect. The setting of the glamorous yacht club and the scenes in the rocking teak sailboat were perfect. What set it apart for me was the fast editing sequences, notably with the gentleman's frightening internal thoughts of dark things. I love the work of both performers. They were able to achieve a teasing banter throughout. Saying this, the witty screenplay really helped the actors with this. Well done.